Welcome to Fantasy Author Reacts. My name is Jacob Penrod, and I'm your fantasy author. And today, I'm also your author with bipolar disorder. Why am I bringing that up? We are reacting to Next to Normal, which is a musical about a family dealing with bipolar disorder. The mother, I believe, has it, and it affects everyone throughout. I wasn't ever going to watch this again, and I have seen it before. I wasn't paying attention to the storytelling because I was a mess. That said, I think that I have a unique perspective that I could provide. Like I mentioned, I have bipolar disorder type 1 as well, and it actually manifests pretty similarly to the main character in this. And so I've just been thinking about it, and I think that it's something where I can analyze the storytelling and the music, but also provide a certain level of commentary and awareness that a lot of other people are fortunate enough to not be able to provide. Um, just because I've lived it. It's been my life. And so a few ground rules. First off, summer vacation. That means that you might hear some kids in the background. There might occasionally be screaming. That is that is normal when they are 4 and 6 and they're just playing. Number two, I just need to blanket be able to stop this whenever I want. So you might get a segment that's 5 minutes long, or I might do this whole thing in one go. I can't commit to finishing it, but I think I'm going to be able to. And then I'd say my third kind of ground rule is I am going to be crying almost immediately, probably. And if you've been on the channel at all, you'll know that I cry at everything. I cry at everything. And and so when it's actually something that hits home like this, even if it doesn't seem immediately obvious why, I will probably be a wreck very quickly. I'm not going to push myself into anything that's unhealthy for me. But if you want to not see that, and if you want to see someone who's a lot more put together reacting to this isn't for you. But if you want to see the reality of like, what's it like living with bipolar disorder and how do you tell a story about that? Because I have a character who has bipolar disorder, or at least is coded that way in my book as well. So I've put a lot of thought into it. How do you tell a story about something that encompasses someone's entire life? Um, Bipolar disorder is a cyclical mood disorder where you have manic or hypomanic phases, and that's like elevated, and you have depressive phases where they're down, and they come and go, but it never stops coming and going, and that informs your whole life. It's not curable even if you can treat it, and the treatment is harsh, or it can be. And so it's just really heavy and it's really challenging, and I think that's a really important topic to discuss. I don't remember the plot super well, so I'll probably still be surprised by some things, but I've been talking for 3 minutes. Let's just go ahead and get into it. I hope you enjoy isn't the right word. Also, final disclosure, this is a very, very heavy musical, and it's so good. Let's do it.
This program contains content that is not suitable for all audiences, including descriptions of self-harm. Viewer discretion is advised.
So, commenting already on the music, this is something that sticks out to me because the artist Billy Joel, he has a few songs about cyclical moods as well. I don't know if it's ever been diagnosed as bipolar, but something he does in his music is he has the right hand on the keys playing like this upbeat arpeggio movement that's kind of fast, and then the left hand is doing these like slower, lower chords, and like that's just musically sound, but also it kind of reflects the experience of bipolar disorder, and the music's already doing that just in the few opening seconds.
What are you doing up? It's 3:30.
Already. Ugh. I don't know if I'm going to be pausing way more than usual or way less than usual, but I pause a ton normally. 3:30. The thing is, she's having a manic episode or hypomanic. I'm not sure which, and I already know because when you have bipolar disorder, you don't get to stay up until 3:30 without getting sick. Uh, and when you are up, you're wired. and you're moving and it's constant. Like your brain won't slow down and you don't feel tired, even if your body's tired. So yeah, immediately flagging in just the first few lines that this is an episode. First few words even.
Seventh night this week, I've sat till morning.
What
I'll
are
try
you
to let a
doing
few lines play at a time.
It's 3:30.
It's the seventh night this week, I've sat till morning.
Oh, that's Mania.
Imagining the ways you might have died
Yep. And tonight's winner is
in a free.
So she's, oh gosh, okay. So one of the key things with Mania is restlessness or energy, and it doesn't stop. I once edited I once edited a video on my old YouTube channel for 5 days straight, literally 5 days, and I didn't take a break. And I had energy the entire time, and I mean, that's what it's like. But it also comes with this paranoia, this fear that things are going to go wrong, or it can. Everyone has their own different flavor of bipolar, and I don't want to paint in broad strokes. But yeah, 7 days, that goes well beyond hypomania, which is like a not lesser, but less intense form of mania.
Freak September, ice storm with no warning.
because that happens.
There's a gang war, there's a bird flu, trains collide.
What do we say about watching the news?
Now you act all sweet and surly, but you swore you'd come home early and you lied.
That's
You gotta let go, Mom.
so she is there's a couple things I want to say about this. First, from the bipolar perspective, second about storytelling. The paranoia is so real, and it doesn't feel like paranoia. That's the thing, is without disclosing too much, in an episode that I've had, I was convinced that our house was going to collapse, and I could recognize it wasn't. Like I could tell everything is sound, like nothing's gonna fall apart, but on a gut level, you may as well have been like pointing a gun to me. Like I was terrified. And I got kind of snappy with people who cared about me because like they just didn't get it. They didn't get it. And we kind of see that here. But also, you need to let go, Mom. That's this early in a story, when you have a sort of "you need to" phrase, that's often indicative of a key theme that's going to be coming back. And I think that's what that was there, is this character, I think her name is Diane or Diana, she needs to learn to let go.
I'm almost 18.
Are you snorting coke?
Not at the moment.
Who's up at this hour?
Father, go up the back
Why
way.
does he hate me?
Because you're a total loser.
You can't call me a loser.
Oh.
Is everything okay? I heard voices.
Just me talking to myself, you know. Now you head on upstairs. I'll be up for sex in a minute.
That's okay.
Everything's okay?
Go.
I mean, that's a joke, but it's also another symptom. Like this is the thing about mania, is if you don't know what you're looking for, you have no idea you're looking at it. But it's so clear here, where hypersexuality is also a symptom of a manic or hypomanic episode, and infidelity rates are very high in relationships where one or both of the people have bipolar disorder, in part because of that. There's lowered inhibition, but also hypersexuality is like a very real thing. And so it's like they're already just nailing the portrayal.
They're the perfect loving family, so adoring, and I love them every day of every week. So my son's a little brat, my husband's boring, and my daughter, though a genius, is a freak. Still I help them love each other, father, mother, sister, brother, cheek to cheek. Natalie, it's 4 a.m.
So that's interesting. Like, she's talking about how perfect her family is. But it's too early in the story for the family to be perfect. So if it is perfect, it's not going to last. But something that I love is that it's showing the family dynamic, and we're getting to understand that, because in my experience with my wife and my loved ones, bipolar affects the people who love someone with bipolar just as much as it affects the person with bipolar. It just looks different. And it might be more intense with the person who has bipolar disorder, but it affects everyone in the entire support system. And it affects them viscerally, and it's painful. And this is already setting that up to be an accurate representation, which I really appreciate. So we get Natalie, her daughter, coming home.
Still I help them love each other. Father, mother, sister, brother, cheek to cheek. Natalie, it's 4 a.m. Is everything okay?
Everything's great. Why wouldn't it be great? It's great. I've just got 3 more chapters of calculus, a physics problem set, a history quiz, and 2 more pages on floral imagery and flowers for Algernon, which is just, everything's so under control. It's just calm.
Is she also manic?
You need to slow down and take some time for yourself. I'm going to have sex with your father.
Great.
There's a lowered inhibition.
Thanks. So glad I know that. So it's times like these I wonder how I take it. And if other families live the way we do, if they love each other or if they just fake it, and if other daughters feel like I feel too. 'Cause some days I think I'm dying, but I'm really only trying to get through.
Okay, so before this guy comes in, dang it, I got emotional a lot faster than I thought. And I'll try to explain why. It's so hard when someone in your family has bipolar disorder, because if that person's going to stay healthy, the family kind of just becomes about that person. You cater to them, and like there's healthy ways to manage it. Like you can do counseling, which helps a lot, and build different systems where it's not everything being about that person constantly, but at its core, you have to treat the bipolar so that you can reach the person. And that's not just medication. It's not as simple as taking a pill. It's an entire lifestyle change. And so, of course, this daughter is feeling not quite at place in her family, because I imagine it's going to come up that she feels like her entire family is just about her mom. If they know that's what she has, but I anticipate that's going to be a dynamic. Gosh, I wish I remembered anything about the show.
It's another day for another stolen hour, when the world will feel my power and obey.
World will feel his power.
Day, feeling like I'll live forever.
Like this feeling never goes away. For just another day.
That was great, wasn't it? That was great. Jeez, I'm
Oh, that
late.
poor daughter.
That'll teach you to take a whole 10 minutes.
I'm sorry, what?
I said, isn't it a beautiful day?
Yeah, sure. It's cloudy and
So-
raining and really cold.
This writing is doing something really clever where it's using jokes to manage the pacing, like the emotional pacing, but the jokes are all revealing of what's going on. Like, it took you a whole 10 minutes as a joke, but also that's kind of a dig at someone that she loves in theory, and probably not something you would normally say if you were well. And so I'm seeing that as just another indicator.
Jeez, I'm late.
Oh, that'll teach you to take a whole 10 minutes.
I'm sorry, what?
I said, isn't it a beautiful day?
Yeah, sure. It's cloudy and raining and really cold for September, but beautiful.
Makes you want to dive in with both feet, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Dive in with both feet.
I never know what she's talking about.
Yeah, so her dialogue is a little disjointed, but there's still an internal logic to it. It's a beautiful day, but you look outside and it's not what you would expect for a beautiful day, and then dive in with both feet isn't really how people say that. And in part, that's good writing because you're not falling back on a cliche, but also it's showing that she's making connections that you wouldn't normally make. And that's important that we're seeing the characters react to that as not being able to keep up, because that signals to us that's not just weak writing, that's intentional writing, that's doing something very specific. And when you're in an episode, things really can feel so bright and incredible when normally it wouldn't be. Like it just feels like you're flying, I guess.
When it's up to you to hold your house together, a house you built with patience and with care, but you're grappling with that gray and rainy weather, and you're living on a latte and a prayer. Can you keep the cup from tipping?
Oh no.
Can you keep your grip from
Caffeine and mania do not mix. Don't fill up that coffee.
slipping in despair for just another day? In the hustle and the hurry, you want to wipe your worry clean away. For just another
I will keep the plates all spinning with a smile so white and winning all the
Like,
way.
if she's been caffeinating as well and like just going off of stimulants and mania together, you can only go so long before your body forces you to shut down. Like, I've gone to the hospital several times, not just because I'm psychologically unwell, but because my body physically shuts down because I was going for so long and I didn't realize it. So I would anticipate that's coming.
Cause what doesn't kill me, so fill me up for just another day.
First off, I love that message, the what doesn't kill me, because there's this mentality in any kind of mental health conversation I've heard that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I hate that. I hate that. I hate that because that's not always the case. Sometimes what doesn't kill you just breaks you down and beats you down, and it stays that way. And you can learn to find hope despite that. I mean, that's one of the key themes of my book, is finding hope when everything's been beaten down. But what doesn't kill me rings true to me as a family that's dealt with some serious stuff. And I appreciate that.
It only hurts when I'm here.
You're gonna be late, and you've got a huge day today.
You have no idea what I do all day.
Jazz band before school, class, key club, then football.
Not bad.
Get
Oh,
out of here.
see, she cares. That sweet characterization.
Only hurts when he goes.
Morning, sunshine.
So, I got the date for my winter recital. Do you think you guys can come?
Yeah, we'll put it on the calendar.
Mom, the calendar's still on April of last year.
The calendar's still, that's such a small detail, but it's so true. Right now it's June 27th and I still have my Christmas decorations up. It's just one of those things. There's just such little lived details that make this fascinating. I was also going to comment that their relationship, the husband and wife, seems really happy right now. And also, relationships are hard when you're dealing with bipolar disorder, because the person you are when you're manic isn't necessarily the person that you are when you're stable or depressed. And someone, thankfully this wasn't the case for me in my relationship, but someone can fall in love with a manic you because you're outgoing and charismatic and funny and ambitious, but then you get healthy and you're a different person, or you get on meds and you're just totally flattened out, and it just changes things.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, Mom.
Hi, sweetheart.
Hey, she's on fire this morning.
Oh, I know.
There's
Honey,
there's
get
another
me shopping
indicator.
Today. I'm slammed at work and we're out of everything.
I keep cave clean. You go out, get fire.
Absolutely. Again, no clue.
It only hurts when I breathe.
It only hurts when I try. It only hurts when I think.
It only hurts when I
It only hurts when I worry.
So we have this entire family in pain, masking together, and not, maybe masking is too cynical, like they're finding support together, but just because you're finding support doesn't mean you're not in pain. And when everyone's drowning, there's only so much room left to lift people up.
It's just another day. Sun is standing, and you wish that you were running far away. It's just another day.
What is she doing?
Hey, Diana, honey,
Dad?
don't worry about it. Go on ahead, you'll miss your bus.
Mom?
Everything's fine, just making sandwiches on the floor. You go on ahead, you'll miss your bus.
Go.
It's so hard when you have some kind of episode because it makes so much sense to you, and it does to her right there. I'm just making sandwiches, and it doesn't make sense to anyone else. Like I remember the last full-blown manic episode I had was almost a year ago exactly, actually. And shortly before, like while I was still building up, I remember I was driving to my mom's house and I was seething. Like I was swearing, I was angry, I was yelling. And the reason is because everyone had their grass in front of their house, otherwise known as lawns. But I was so angry. Like I was so pissed off. And I tried explaining it and it wouldn't make sense. And that made me more frustrated. And it just it escalates, and it's concerning to the people who love you, because you might just look eccentric to someone who doesn't know you, but to someone who sees you when you're stable, it's terrifying. And as someone who's loved someone who's had manic episodes as well, it's just it you hear manic episode and you picture this person is entirely different. It would be easily recognizable, and in some ways it is, but in other ways it's like the person is 90% themselves and then 10% being puppeted by something else, but that 10% matters, and it just makes everything feel like this uncanny valley of knowing someone that you love. The story is capturing it beautifully so far.
Sweetie, everything okay?
Yeah, I wanted to get ahead on lunches. So.
Yeah, sure. Why don't you let me help you up?
There's being really ambitious. And
Well, I guess I got a little carried away.
Maybe a little. Let's go see Dr. Fine. This is just a blip, okay? It's nothing to worry about. I'll wrap up the sandwiches and then we'll go.
You can tell in his delivery, he's trying to help her, but he's self-soothing as well. He's terrified because you think it goes away, and that's when it comes back. And it's got to affect him too. He knows what he's looking at, and hearing that. So when you're in a manic episode, you can get something called what is it? It is a lack of insight, anosognosia, and that means that you're just like physically incapable of recognizing yourself as being sick. And I've had that a few times as well, and it's not an on or off thing from my experience. Like it can be there in certain degrees, but when you feel like you're not sick and people are telling you need to go get treatment, and oftentimes these treatments make you feel awful, like that's a really hard dynamic.
Mozart was crazy. Flat freaking crazy. Not so, I hear. But his music's not crazy. It's balanced, it's nimble, it's crystalline clear.
Listen to what she's actually saying. She's saying this person who's crazy and unhinged, which crazy is a loaded word. I don't like it, and I think they know that. I think they're using that intentionally. This person who was crazy and unhinged made something, and that thing still has purpose and can be genius and great. I think she's talking about her own relationship with her mother there.
There's harmony, logic, you listen to these. You don't hear his doubts or his debts or disease. You scan through the score and put fingers on keys and you play.
So if I'm right, and she's a metaphor for the music here, and her mother's a metaphor for Mozart, she's worried, am I seeing these things in myself?
And everything else goes away. Everything else goes away. So you play till it's perfect. You play till you ache. You play till the strings or your fingernails break. So you rock that recital and get into Yale. So you won't feel so sick and you won't look so pale. Cause you got your full ride and it means that you're gone. So you're done with this school and you get to move on. So you graduate early, you're good as of May. And there's nothing your parents can say.
So she wants to break free, and I imagine it's more than just the usual teenage angst. That's diminishing to what people actually go through, but I hope you get what I mean. She's lived a life that I imagine has been catered around this, and not only is that frustrating, that's freaking terrifying, because it's a genetic thing in part, and you don't know if it's going to show up in you or not.
And you know that it's just a sonata away, and you play. And you play. And everything else goes away. Everything else goes away. Everything else
Sounds good.
I still have this practice room for 7.5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
That's a little character detail showing like precision and attention to detail,
I'm Henry.
just because every minute has to count.
Natalie,
Yeah, I mean, I know.
it's a little creepy that you know.
Well, we've gone to school together for like 6 years.
Really?
I sit behind you in 4 classes.
Huh. Also creepy.
So she's just barely getting by that she doesn't know this, I think. Like, I think that's the intent of the writing here. Like, you could just say she's not interested, but I think the intent with what they were writing and creating is this theme of this family where everybody's hurting. And she's stressed, she's trying to overachieve so she can break the cycle. But yeah, that's what's sticking out to me.
You're in here a lot. You know, before school and after.
Right?
Okay, yeah, that is creepy.
7 minutes.
You give up way too easily.
You're kind of a confusing person.
Yeah, that was confusing.
You should meet my mother.
The pink ones are taken with food, but not with the white ones. The white ones are taken with the round yellow ones, but not with the triangle yellow ones. The triangle yellow ones are taken with the oblong green ones with food, but not with the pink ones. If a train is leaving New York at 120 miles an hour.
It really does feel like that. What's sad is I have pink ones that you take with food and round ones and the triangle ones. Oh gosh, lamotrigine. So glad I'm not on that anymore. It was good for me. It's just anyway. The whole thing is like there's so many that you have to manage, and that's what this is already getting at. Is there is not a magic pill that you can take. First off, you can't cure bipolar. You can only treat it. But like I think I take, if you count each pill individually, I take 9 pills at night and 11 total because I have 2 in the morning, trying to balance this. And then that's on top of more specialized treatments. Like I do ketamine treatments for depression and suicidality. And there's all kinds of like lifestyle changes you have to make. Bipolar isn't something you can just throw pills at. You have to attack it from every angle, and the pills can totally flatten you out. But I mean, what choice do you have? Because the mania ends with you dead in the hospital or in jail usually.
and another train is leaving St. Petersburg at the same time but going backwards. Which train do you
Who's
get on?
crazy? The husband or wife who's crazy to live their whole life believing that somehow things aren't as bizarre as they are. Who's crazy? The one who can't cope, or maybe the one who'll still hope, the one who sees doctors, or the one who just waits in the car.
Oh, that's... My heart just breaks for him because I've seen that in my wife, of just the pain of having to love someone with bipolar is you still hope, or you have to be able to hold on. But the insidious thing about it is that in some cases, in many cases, it's a progressive illness where it gets worse. And I don't say this to be discouraging to anyone who loves someone with bipolar or anyone who has bipolar. I say this out of like solidarity as someone who's living it. The fact is it gets worse. It can. For me, it does. Even just in the last few years, it's gotten significantly worse. And you still hope it's not like that you don't have a husband who's convinced that your house is about to fall apart, or that his medications are actually poison, or things like that. I love that it's highlighting this. It's not an illness that impacts just one person. It attacks the entire support system.
And I was a wild 25, and I loved a wife so alive, but now I believe I would settle for one who can drive.
The round.
I almost got married to my wife when I was 18. We did get married, I think I was 21. We started dating at 16. And it's all young. And that was all before the bipolar manifested. Before it obviously manifested. It's been there for a long time. But what this is capturing so beautifully in the writing is it changes things. Like, I used to be able to do all these things that I just can't anymore. And we used to stay up late playing Divinity 2 until 3 a.m. And we just can't do that anymore. And that doesn't mean we don't have fun, we don't have a fulfilling life. But the vision of your life changes. That's such a devastating line. Because when you're the one with it, you don't ask for it. And when you marry someone who has it, or you're in a relationship with them, you know it's not their fault, but it still affects you.
Round blue ones are taken with food, but not with the oblong white ones. The white ones are taken with the round yellow ones, but not with the trapezoidal green ones. Break the green ones into thirds with a tiny chisel, put it all into a
My psychopharmacologist and I, it's like an odd romance, intense and very intimate. We do our dance.
So I think this is showing some of that hypersexuality, but also, like, I mean, who else am I messaging late at night because my moods are off, sending an email being like, hey, this is how I'm feeling? Like, there is a certain connection there, and obviously you need to keep it appropriate and keep it professional, but in order to get proper treatment, you have to open up about a whole lot. And it takes a lot of work.
My psychopharmacologist and I call it a lover's game.
Ugh.
He knows my deepest secrets. I know his name.
That's yeah.
He'll never hold me. He'll always take my calls. It's truly like he told me. Without a little lift, the ballerina falls.
disorder with delusional episodes, 16-year history of medication.
So with delusional episodes, that's less common in bipolar type 2 than it is in bipolar type 1. I won't get into those differences too much, other than bipolar type 1 generally has mania, where type 2 doesn't. It has hypomania. Go look up, I think Dr. Tracy Marks is someone on YouTube who covers a lot of bipolar and is very qualified, much more than I am. That's a great place to learn if you're curious. Oh gosh, it's such a weird feeling getting a diagnosis too, because it doesn't feel real, but when it fits, and it can be reassuring and devastating, and you grieve it, but you also feel tied to it because it can help anchor you, and it's weird.
Adjustment after 4 weeks.
I've got less anxiety, but I have headaches and blurry vision.
Ugh.
And I can't feel my toes.
So we'll try again, and eventually we'll get it right.
Not a very exact science, is it?
It takes a long time to even get a diagnosis, usually, because it can be so easily misdiagnosed for other things. But there's a lot of medications. I've gone through basically everything out there trying to find something, because my bipolar is refractory, which means it doesn't respond well to treatments. And it's hard. The side effects are so brutal at times, where I mean, I've gained over 100 pounds on the antipsychotics that I take. And apart from that, there's nausea and hand tremors from the lithium I take, and there's just so much. It's absolutely brutal. And the hard part is, if I throw them away, if I stop taking them, it comes back, and it comes back worse than it was before. And so you're kind of trapped between a rock and a hard place.
And I can't feel my toes.
So we'll try again, and eventually we'll get it right.
Not a very exact science, is it?
So often Taxil and Buspar and Xanax, Depakote, Clonopin, Ambien, Prozac, Ativan calms me when I see the pills. These are a few of my favorite pills.
I've had almost every single one of that list. It's so hard to treat. It can be, and you can change how you respond to it too. So it's not an indication of a poor psychiatrist. It's an indication of a really challenging disorder.
Thank you, doctor. Valium is my favorite color. How'd you know?
The thing about jazz is, how do you ever know if you got it right? It's just making stuff up.
Which is also known as the act of creation.
Oh, you're one of those pretentious stoner types.
That's totally not fair. I'm not pretentious. I'm definitely not classical. It's far too rigid and structured. There's no room for improvisation.
So let's talk writing and not bipolar for a second. What is this doing? Is we have Natalie, who's been set up as a perfectionist, not out of a desire to be perfect necessarily, but out of a fear of not being perfect. And so jazz for her is challenging that. She's seeing something beautiful made from disorganization, from chaos, and her family is chaos. And so jazz represents finding meaning in the key thing that's been keeping her down.
The notes on the page.
Yeah, and what did Mozart know anyway? He should have just smoked a bowl and jammed on Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Yeah, let's do that.
Goodman, Diana, second adjustment after 8 weeks. Delusions less frequent, but depressive state worse.
I'm nauseous, and I'm constipated. Completely lost my appetite and gained 6 pounds, which is just, not fair.
I mean, that happens. It happened to me. But this is the hard thing that they're capturing so well as well, is when you treat the highs, it can trigger the lows. And when you treat the lows, it can trigger the highs. And then there's also something called mixed episodes, which I get, where you have the lows and the highs at the same time. And it makes just as little sense as it sounds. But those are so hard to treat, and they're super dangerous. And so, I just love how it's portraying this so far.
May cause the fall inside of us, one or more dizziness, drowsiness, sexual dysfunction, headache, tremors, and nightmares, lapses, exercise, exercise, exhaustion inside.
insomnia, irritability, nausea, vomiting.
Odd and alarming sexual feelings.
Oh, and one last thing.
Use may be fatal. Use may be fatal.
Oh gosh, it's so hard. Because how do you take something that hurts you knowing it helps you? It's really, really difficult. I remember this one morning after I had just started Lithium, which is one of the oldest and most reliable treatments. It causes hand tremors, especially when you're dehydrated, and I hadn't been drinking a lot of water. And I got a little egg taco from Taco Bell, and my hand was shaking so bad. I dropped a little piece of egg, and I tried picking it up, and it just slipped from my hand. So I tried it again, and it just slipped from my hands. And it's so frustrating because you can't control your own body, and it messes with me when I type as well. I have so many typos just constantly, because my fingers are trembling. And it just makes it really difficult. And so this is really capturing it. I don't know of any medications that can be oh no, lithium, lithium can poison you if you take too much of it. And so like that's one that can be fatal. You have to monitor, like I have to get regular blood draws to test my levels. It's just brutal. And you got to do it.
Goodman, Diana, third adjustment after 12 weeks, reports continued mild anxiety and some lingering depression.
I now can't feel my fingers or my toes. I sweat profusely for no reason.
I've wasted like weeks of practice with you, improvising.
Well, Oscar Peterson was classically trained.
Beethoven did cocaine.
Miles Davis went to Juilliard.
Mozart wrote poems about farts.
Fortunately, I have absolutely no desire for sex.
He's using the pills
Whether
as a
that's
shaker.
The medicine or the marriage is anybody's guess.
I'm sure it's the medicine.
Oh, thank you. That's very sweet. But my husband is waiting in the car.
Who's crazy?
Oh,
The one who's half gone, or maybe the one who holds on, remembering when she was 20 and brilliant and bold.
it's so hard because it can change you, and it can change the people you love, and you hold on to this version of them that's just not there anymore. With people that I love that have it, it feels like, especially if it's untreated, it feels like watching the person you know wither away, and then they're just gone. And it's not always like that. I don't want to be alarming or anything, but that's the reality, and it's capturing it. And when you're in a relationship with someone and that's happening, it's just devastating.
And I was so young and so dumb. And now I am old. And she was wicked and wired. The sex was simply inspired. Now there's no...
Oh, did he fall in love with her when she was manic? Wicked and wired. The sex was inspired. Like, these are things that people often experience if they fall in love with someone who's manic. They're performing at a level of personality that just isn't sustainable, but you don't know that when you meet them. You just think that's how they are. And then the relationship forms, you get committed, and then the realization hits when suddenly this person who is bouncing off the walls and full of ambition and life can't get out of bed for a week. Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Sex, she's depressed, and me, I'm just tired, but I'm tired, but I'm tired, I'm tired, I'm crazy. The one who's uncured, or maybe the one endured, the one who has treatments, or the one who just lives in pain. They say love is blind, but believe me, love is insane. Goodman, Diana. 16 weeks.
I don't feel like myself. I mean, I don't feel anything.
Uh-huh. Patient's stable.
Oh, this is hard. Just the meds are brutal, but it's so much worse without them. Gosh, this is capturing that well. And the thing is, like, it's dampened her to where she's not herself. She's not feeling anything. But the inverse of that is so dangerous that I can't be mad at the doctor, because they're playing a balancing game with a lose-lose situation. And so when mania is likely to end in the injury or incarceration or death of a person, the numbing them entirely almost seems preferable. Okay, that seems like it's a little stopping point, so we'll go ahead and call it there. I know I've cried a lot, but I really am doing all right. It's kind of cathartic, but I also don't want to keep doing this if it's not interesting for you all. I am trying to talk about the writing, but just by nature of who I am and the things I deal with, it's impossible for me to not comment pretty extensively on the bipolar as well. So if that's something, if you are interested in seeing more of this, let me know. Because I'd love to keep going. But until then, I hope that you all have a great day. Again, I'm going to put some links in the description to check out if you want to learn more about bipolar disorder. And until then, thanks for watching.